Darlings, it's Mummy Sybil Bruncheon, and it's almost Halloween time, and I just thought I would drop in one more time and just say I hope you're getting ready for Halloween and enjoying it. Last year, COVID wiped Halloween out for us, for so many of us, but that wasn't my first Halloween that was wiped out. If you remember, Hurricane Sandy wiped out Halloween years ago. Hurricane Sandy came to New York and completely decimated Halloween in the Northeast. And then attached to that, was it before or after that? It was before that. That freak winter blizzard came and completely wiped out Halloween for us. There was a freak blizzard that hit the Northeast and completely decimated Halloween. It was shocking. All of New England and New York was hit by snow. Trees were coming down, and Mummy was going to do a big party with her friend Geffel Tefish for the Red Ribbon Society up in Greenwich, and it was completely destroyed. The whole event was destroyed. Isn't it interesting? The streetlights are lighting the houses around this circle that I live on in the most haunted way. Disney would be proud. Anyway, oh, I like the spotlight on my tree. It's very nice. Anyway, there's where I live, and here in the main line of Philadelphia, right outside of Philadelphia, I wanted to show you my pumpkin. I finally got it carved, and it's on our front porch. Many of you write me and ask me about my twin sister, my identical twin sister, Dagmar. And you're always saying, oh, Mummy, you're always telling us horror stories about Dagmar. But do you ever tell good stories or happy stories about her? And it's funny that you say that, because although we are identical twins and born within minutes of each other, she had a different sort of energy, not unlike Dead Ringer with Betty Davis. But that's another story for another time. But anyway, many of you have said, Sybil, did Dagmar ever do anything that you envied? Did she ever have a talent that you wish you had? Did she ever excel at something that you did not excel at? And so I'm going to give you one example, and it is very interesting. Dagmar was unable to carve a pumpkin without it being dangerous or scary. So when we would be given pumpkins to carve and do and draw and get them all ready for Halloween, Dagmar, even at 5 years old, the happiest pumpkin she ever made terrified adults that came to the house. There was something about she would do a smiling pumpkin, but the smile would have this weird off-kilter quality that would frighten you and make you think that perhaps the pumpkin had a collection of axes back in its pumpkin patch. There was something about her pumpkins that always was just off, and it was very strange. Even the most jolly pumpkins, even when we drew a pumpkin face on it for her, and then she would begin to carve it, the pumpkin would have this scary, forbidding, terrifying thing. Many children would refuse to come to our house for trick-or-treating if one of her pumpkins was on display. Very interesting that she had this talent, and it is indeed a talent that I wish I had. My pumpkins, this is the most frightening pumpkin I can come up with. Short of putting an axe in it and having it stick out of it, this is the most scary pumpkin I can carve. And you can see that it's more alarmed than scary. Dagmar would do this same pumpkin, but the eyes, there would be something in it that would be just terrifying. Oh, how I envy her that talent. She also, interestingly, could do the same thing with flower arrangements. We would have the same flowers on a table. We would pick up the flowers, we'd put them in identical vases, and her vase of flowers would have a forbidding, at the very least, a tragic or forlorn quality, and usually even a frightening quality. A bouquet of roses would suddenly have something, one would be afraid to be in a room alone with a bouquet of forget-me-nots. I mean, she couldn't do anything. She once made a corsage for a friend for the prom, and the friend ran shrieking into traffic and was killed. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, and there was one other way that she was excelled, which I think is fascinating. She not only couldn't carve pumpkins or arrange flowers without it being terrifying, even her stamp collection. You'd open the albums and look at stamps from Zanzibar or Rhodesia or Madagascar or Akron, Ohio, or whatever, and one was filled with horror and dread. I begged my parents never to let me be alone in a room at night with one of her stamp albums. It would just be too terrifying for words. And I was not alone. People just could not be alone with her stamp collection. Isn't that interesting? I wonder what it was about Dagmar that well, she's still alive, by the way, but she's resting in an institution at this time. Anyway, I wanted to bring you to my front porch and Halloween and give you a Dagmar story. All right, darlings, I love you. Remember, be in the world and of the world. And to remember always, be present, be mindful, be grateful, and that everything you see and smell and touch and taste and hear and hold in your hand and your heart, it's all borrowed. Even this flickering pumpkin right now in this evening that I'm spending with you, it's all only borrowed. Good night, darlings.